今仕事しててこの年になって完璧だとは思っていないからね。
If you have bags of money and patience in abundance, you may wish to book a stall at Jiro Ono's 3 Michelin-starred restaurant over in Tokyo. David Gelb's quiet, tender documentary charts its subject's rise from poverty and Zen-like mastery over a world of cold fish. Just don't bring your own ketchup.
そこまで頂上まで行けば完璧かもわかんないけど、じゃあこの頂上はどこかっていうとわかんないわけですよ。
Catherine, a great advert for his restaurant, this film.
It is, and it's a strange film in that way because, you know, it's an incredibly expensive restaurant to eat there. You have to have a lot
300
of
quid minimum charge, isn't it?
each, plus sake. In fact, I think it's more like 215 or something. It's $300.
That's $300.
A small change. But anyway, it's strange because you have this incredibly expensive restaurant, and you have quite luxy production on this film. It's very sort of slathered in soundtrack, and it's quite sort of posh, the film. And yet this incredibly austere subject matter. It's basically just cutting up fish, and the guy is very kind of, you know, his background is one of amazing poverty, really. So I'm slightly I was slightly disappointed in a way at the sort of clash between those two worlds in the film, which I didn't think sort of led to anything interesting. It was just a clash.
What I found interesting was the father-son dynamic. It almost seemed to be that was the real meat of this picture.
I think another sort of film would have investigated that a lot more closely and perhaps a little less respectfully than this film does. I thought it was an interesting movie. I got the impression that I was watching a very good advert for a very, very expensive restaurant like the recent movie El Bulli, Cooking in Progress. I thought it was great. I think it's very interesting to have sushi returned to us as something mysterious and, dare I say, exotic, or at any rate something precious and wonderful. I don't want to use that awful word foodie in connection with this film, that terrible word, but I've got a feeling that is the market that it's aimed at, this awful foodie market. But there's a lot to take in here, and it is interesting.
You say that suggests that it might be sort of porn for posh people, but it also kind of glosses over the ecological consequences of gobbling too much sushi, doesn't it?
Completely, yeah, and the sort of any conception of cruelty or anything, you know, you get quite a lot of kind of sense of that when you're, you know, some of the shots, and you know, the sort of weirdness of it. I mean, it's all kind of, it's sacramental and it's wonderful and it's traditional and respectful, but actually massaging a dying octopus for 40 minutes is quite weird. I'm not sure that's right.
Yeah, and we've all done it. Let's face it, we've all caressed the odd dying octopus.
うちはもう二郎さんの亡霊がもうそこら中にあるから。
好きにならなきゃダメですよ。その自分の仕事に惚れなきゃダメなんですよ。